welcome to Sensible Earth. Thank you for being here for our first ever different and perhaps a deeper approach to sustainability. So I can see some familiar faces, some new ones. The ones who've been here before, you've normally been part of something to do with environment directly or social impact. We thought that, we realized that it's important for us to look at a much deeper aspect of sustainability and to go to our own inner core sensibility. So for those of you who are new today, just a quick introduction, and I'll try and get the smoke out of the way in a minute. Sorry, bear with it. Either the mosquitoes or the smoke, so it's a tough battle. But that'll be for another 15-20 minutes. And we also have some homemade essential oil bottles around for mosquitoes. They're very effective. So Sensible Earth is the Center for Sustainability here in Goa. Some of us got together. Dean, many of you may know him or heard his name. He's an architect who's made these beautiful buildings over here. Vivek, who used to have sustainability for Tata Power, and is currently building a marine biodiversity center for excellence for the Tatas. Govind from Dasra, myself, my background has been on the other side, on tech and tech startup, selling people things that they don't need with the money they don't have. So many of us got together and felt that there was a deeper calling for us to start asking the question is how might we make our existence on this planet to be resource positive? We don't have any answers here. We're largely intern and volunteer driven. We do three things in our physical center here, largely over there, some over here extending out. Is we have our community services in which we have workshops, events. We encourage anybody who wants to do anything in the sustainability space to talk to us. We have a plant-based community kitchen, which is over here. We serve 30 to 50 lunches every day. We have a cafe which makes really to die for chocolate mousse vegan cake. You must come for. We have some biodiverse and organic coffee from one of our startups, by Plaza. We also have a plant-based, we also have a food forest over here, 20,000 square feet. Some of you volunteer, so we have many volunteers who work with the food forest over here. We're completely off the grid, more or less. We have our own power, we have our own water. And when I say more or less, because we don't have all our food yet. We should soon have all our food here as well. You can see food upstairs as well. We believe that we should be able to grow as much food as we possibly can for our own consumption. The second thing is co-working spaces for people in the sustainability space. We have some great companies working out of here, about 6, 7 at the moment. They do different things in different space, and we help whatever we can to encourage that. We'd like to build an incubator soon. And we also have a sustainability school where we're working with kids in Goa, 11 to 14-year-olds for 2-day pro bono programs in sustainability, and we're building some more for kids from other schools in other cities and from other countries. So that's at Sensible Earth. If you would like to get updates of Sensible Earth, we have a number over here which says say hi to us on WhatsApp. So if you add our contact and say hi, then you can get updates. We have multiple things coming up. We have a repair cafe event. Last time was bicycles, this time maybe clothing. We had a clothes swap recently. There's some more of that coming up. We have some gardening and permaculture programs coming up. Many of them are free. We also have a Women's Day activity here where we are working to launch a rideshare service for women in Goa. We have a menstrual hygiene program on the 15th So lots of things happening, and if anybody would like to come and help in any of those, please do. Today's a special evening. I've taken a little longer than I would have liked to. My apologies, Vipul. We're very, very excited to have Vipul here. When I met him the first time, it's very often, I'm sure it happens to most of us, when we really, really, really want something, it happens. And I've been hearing about the Kabir project. I was listening to some, I was reading some, and fortunate to have Vipul over for lunch one day, and he mentioned what he was doing. So Vipul's been part of the Kabir project. Many of you may know of them. He's been singing for over 8 years, songs from the folk tradition, and now he's been living in Goa for some time. So we're really, really fortunate to have you here, Vipul. Thank you so much. I will let you talk more about Kabir. The little I know is he really went beyond all religions. In fact, Vipul said he was critical of religions and looked at spirituality and nature and connecting to a very much deeper core of oneness. At a time like where we are in this world today, unfortunately in India with many things, we're very fortunate to have this evening with you. Thank you. Over to you.
Thanks. Good evening, everyone, and a very warm welcome to this sharing of some songs around nature, from nature, related to nature. And when we say nature, we don't only mean the nature that we see outside, but our own nature, because we are also part of nature. We sometimes tend to think nature is something else and we are something else. So in these poems you will see that the two are intimately connected. And thanks Sanjeev and Sensible Earth for hosting this evening in such a beautiful setting. While I'm looking at a building, you are looking at actual nature, and you have a better view than me. But let me begin with a conversation. ए जी पत्ता टूटा डाल से और ले गई पवन उड़ा, अब के बिछड़े कब मिले दूर पड़ेंगे जहाँ. The leaf broke away from the tree and it was carried far away by the wind. Parted in this moment, when shall we meet again? We'll be far apart from each other. तो वृक्ष बोला पात से, अरे सुनो पात मेरी बात, इस घर की रीत यही, एक आवत एक जात. So the tree says something to the leaf. The tree says, listen to what I say, O leaf, this is the law of this house. One leaves and another comes. A new one comes and the old one dies. Then the leaf replies to the tree. तो पत्ता बोला वृक्ष से, अब क्या पड़ी मुझे तो, मैंने तो तरुवर तजा, अब जाने दे तू मोह. The leaf responds to the tree, says, "O tree, what have I got to do with you now? I've left you. I'm on my own. Now let me go." So nature shows us incredible beauty, but also ephemerality. Nothing lasts. Everything is changing. Everything is transient. So not to get attached too fast to anything, because things are constantly moving, changing. And these poets often draw from nature to point out simple truths. For example, Kabir says, ए जी राम ऊंचे पानी ना टिके वो तो नीचे ही ठहरा जो नर ऊंचा हो रहा सो प्यासा ही मर जा. Kabir says, look at water. Water doesn't stay in high places. It always runs to lower ground. He or she who wants to be high and mighty, they will die of thirst. ए जी नमन बड़ी संसार में और नहीं नमे सो नीच धारा से पर्वत कटे और ढूंगल धार के बीच. Then he gives another example from nature. He says humility is the greatest virtue in this world. And whoever cannot be humble or low is actually quite low in the human sense. Because you see big mountains and mountain ranges get cut by water. But the little weed in the water which knows how to bow, that survives, that stays. So human pride, this arrogance about the self, it's a very human trait. And when these poets look at nature, they see that everything is flowing, everything is changing. Things are not attached to anything else. And there's no question of pride, there's no question of arrogance, there's no question of mind. ए जी तन की भूख तो तनिक है और पावती और से मन की भूख अनंत है निगलत मेरु सुहे. Now he talks about the human mind. He says the hunger of the body is limited. You can only eat so much. But the hunger of the mind is unlimited. It can never be satisfied. And it swallows up entire mountains. So nature teaches us to be humble, to be low, to be unattached, to flow, to be ephemeral. And in this first song from Gulabi Das, the poet describes the beauty of nature and at the same time its impermanence. These two things go together. And he says, this is the nature also of love. So he says, Tam to chalo hamara desh, batai daun thane bhav nagari, batai daun thane prem nagari. Come to my country, come to my land, and I will show you the city of love, and I will show you the city of feeling. Kachi kali kachnar, karigar kaya ajab bani. Ajab bani ya mein ek khani. This beautiful kachnar flower, look how beautiful it is, but it doesn't last. It goes away. Haldi patangi yaro rang ud javega hai nikal ki ghadi. The beautiful golden color of the moth will disappear at the moment of death. Mat karje kaya ro ahankar, kaya thari charm se bani. Don't be so vain, arrogant and proud about your body, yourself. This is just leather without life. In the end he says, Gave Gulabi Das, bhajan se mari kaya sun. Gulabi Das, the poet says, song, meditation, being connected with this truth, with nature, improved my heart, my life, my mind. तुमको चालू हमारा वो देश बतैदम थाने भावनगरी. हाँ चालो गोरा सारा देश बतैदम थाने भावनगरी. हाँ भावनगरी हो गेली प्रेम नगरी, हाँ भाव नगरी ओ हेली प्रेम नगरी, तुम तो आओ हमारा हो देश बतैदम थाने भाव नगरी। हाँ काची कली हो कचनार, कारीगर छाया अजब बनी। हाँ काची कली हो कचनार, कारीगर छाया अजब बनी। हाँ अजब बनी ओ यामे एक घनी, हाँ अजब बनी ओ यामे एक घनी, तुम तो आओ हमारा हो देश बतैदम थाने भाव नगरी। हाँ भाव नगरी ओ हेली प्रेम नगरी, हाँ भाव नगरी ओ हेली प्रेम नगरी, तुम तो चालो पूरा सारा देश बतैदम थाने भाव नगरी। हाँ हल्दी पतंगी यारो रंग उड़ जाए गहेली काल की घड़ी। हाँ हल्दी पतंगी यारो रंग उड़ जाए गहेली काल की घड़ी। हाँ काल की घड़ी ओ हेली काल की घड़ी, हाँ काल की घड़ी ओ हेली काल की घड़ी, तुम तो आओ हमारा हो देश बतैदम थाने भाव नगरी। हाँ मत कर दे काया अहंकार काया ओ थारी चाम से बनी। हाँ मत कर दे काया रो अहंकार काया ओ थारी चाम से बनी। हाँ चाम से बनी ओ यामे एक बनी, हाँ चाम से बनी ओ यामे एक बनी, तुम तो आओ हमारा देश बतैदम थाने भाव नगरी। हाँ भाव नगरी ओ हेली प्रेम नगरी, हाँ भाव नगरी ओ हेली प्रेम नगरी, तुम तो चालो पूरा सारा देश बतैदम थाने भाव नगरी। हाँ गावे गुलाबी हो दास भजन से मारी काया सुधरी। हाँ गावे गुलाबी हो दास भजन से मारी काया सुधरी। हाँ काया सुधरी ओ हेली एब तीसरी, हाँ काया सुधरी ओ हेली एब तीसरी, तुम तो आओ हमारा देश बतैदम थाने भाव नगरी। हाँ भाव नगरी ओ हेली प्रेम नगरी, हाँ भाव नगरी ओ हेली प्रेम नगरी, तुम तो चालो पूरा सारा देश बतैदम थाने भाव नगरी, बतैदम थाने प्रेम नगरी बतैदम थाने बाव नगरी। So when we look at our lives, how we live, not just now in the modern times, but maybe even earlier, because Kabir was writing in the 15th century. Not writing, he didn't read or write. He was a weaver, and he was a working man. He had a wife, he had kids, and he lived in the world in Varanasi by the river Ganga. And he only spoke, or he sang. And these songs are alive today because people sing them and because people listen to them. And so this tradition flows from body to body, from one person to another. And it's an embodied tradition. It's not a textual tradition. It's an oral tradition. And you see how these poets, when they speak about nature, what they're trying to point out is how disconnected we are from the ways of nature. So for example, he talks about speed, our current obsession with speed. धीरे धीरे रे मना और धीरे सब कुछ हो माली सींचे सौ घड़ा ऋतु आए भल हो. So Kabir says, slowly, O heart, slowly. Everything happens slowly. Though a gardener may pour 100 water pots, but the fruit will only come in season. The fruit will only come when it is time. So the rhythms of nature have their own season, their own time. And the nature inside us also has its own time. Things come to fruit at their own time. And not everything can be rushed. Then he also talks about something else which we can relate to perhaps very easily. I can relate to it. This running after many, many things. So he says, एक साधे सब सधे और सब साधे सब जा माली सींचे मूल को तो फूले भले अघा. He says, Kabir says, aim for the one and you get everything. Aim for everything and you lose everything, you get nothing. If the gardener waters only the roots, the gardener only has to water the roots. He doesn't have to water each leaf, each flower. Just water the root and the whole tree will be blooming. And what is this root in ourselves? The Sufi poet Sultan Bahu says, Alif ala chambe di booty मेरा मुर्शिद मन विच लाई हूँ नफी असबात का पानी भरया और हर रगे हर झाई हूँ ते अंदर बूटी मुश्क मचाया ए जी अंदर बूटी मुश्क मचाया ते जान फुलन के आई हूँ जीवे मुर्शिद कामिल बाहू जे बूटी मन विच लाई हूँ. Now the poet talks about a different kind of plant and he says This plant of Chamba, this was planted in my heart by my Guru. And this is the plant of Alif, the first letter from which everything comes. Alif Allah. My Guru planted it in my heart, and he watered it with what? With the waters of yes and no. Day and night, this and that, man and woman, all these dualities. With those waters he watered it, not one, but both. And this water flowed into all my veins. Now this fragrance of this flower is making waves inside my body. And my heart is swelling up with feeling. Long live, God bless my Guru who gave me this plant. So how do we go to this depth? We are in Goa, so now I'm moving to the metaphor of the ocean. And Kabir often talks about the ocean, and he says, what is the nature of the ocean? You see the surface of the ocean, always moving, never still, never stable. So he says, he compares it to the mind. ए जी जितनी लहर समुद्र में और उतनी मन की दौड़ सहज मोती निपजे जब मन आवे है ठोर. He says, as many as the waves in the ocean, so many are the circles of the mind. This mind keeps running endlessly, endless waves. But that is the surface. He says, the pearl, where do you find the pearl? The pearl is found in the depths. So go to the depths of the ocean. And there you will find the pearl, in this ocean. So in this next song, the poet says, Laile samandrari lehra, labara doya se moti namile. Ride the waves of the ocean. Go into the depth of the ocean. You won't find pearls in shallow ditches, in shallow pools, shallow puddles. Go to the depth. There you will find the pearl. क्या परदेसी से हेत तुम्हारा प्रिय जैसे फुस की ताप. Why do you keep longing for what is not yours? Why do you keep wanting to possess which does not belong to you, which is far away? It's so ephemeral. It passes like hayfire, doesn't last. गुरु जी की लिलड़ी पल्हानी ममता रो झीम धराए मन त्या भूख मन त्याजी. The Guru gave me the horse. This is the horse I am riding. On it, I saddled it with the reins of restraint. And now the mind has lost all its hungers, all its external desires, all the need to possess what doesn't belong to it. बूंद पड़ी समुद्र में और जाने हैं सबको समुद्र समाना बूंद में जाने बिरला को. That the ocean contains many drops, everyone knows this, it's common truth. But that the drop contains the entire ocean, that a rare person knows. रहीले समंदरारी लहरा मारा वीरा रहीले समंदरारी लहरा रहीले समंदरारी लहरा मारा वीरा रहीले समंदरारी लहरा. हाँ डबरा डोया से मोती ना मिले संतोरे भाई. हाँ डबरा डोया से मोती ना मिले संतोरे भाई. परदेसी से प्रीत मारा वीरा है, क्या परदेसी से क्या परदेसी से प्रीत मारा वीरा है, क्या परदेसी से जैसे फुसकाता संतोरे भाई, जैसे फुसकाता संतोरे भाई, लहीले समंदरा गहरा मारा वीरा लहीले समंदरा डबरा डोया से मोती ना मिले संतोरे भाई, डबरा डोया से मोती ना मिले संतोरे भाई। गुरु जी की लीली पधारी मारा वीरा ममता जी धरा, गुरु जी की लीली पधारी मारा वीरा ममता जी धरा। मन क्या भूख मन त्यागना संतोरे भाई, मन क्या भूख मन त्यागना संतोरे भाई, लहीले समंदरा गहरा मारा वीरा लहीले समंदरा डबरा डोया से मोती ना मिले संतोरे भाई, डबरा डोया से मोती ना मिले संतोरे भाई। धोई कर जोड़ जप बोले मारा वीरा धोई कर जोड़ जप बोले, सकयमरा फूल पाया संतोरे भाई, सकयमरा फूल पाया है संतोरे भाई, लहीले समंदरा गहरा मारा वीरा लहीले समंदरा डबरा डोया से मोती ना मिले संतोरे भाई, डबरा डोया से मोती ना मिले संतोरे भाई, डबरा डोया से मोती ना मिले संतोरे भाई। While I'm singing and the mosquitoes are singing their own song, my love, I'm reminding myself they are also part of nature. So this, yes, no, I'm fine, it's okay. We are having a conversation. I'm saying. So, the ocean, why do we keep going to the ocean? What do we feel when we go there? So this next song describes the the ocean and also the bounty of nature. So, and it comes with a story. So first I'll tell you a short story. And it's by a contemporary poet, the song, contemporary Gujarati poet, Dhruv Bhatt. And he loves the ocean, so he goes often walking by the ocean. And once upon a time, actually, he was walking along the river. He was doing a pilgrimage, and he was walking in the summer months, and he was passing through some fields. And in the field, he saw this old farmer who was working his field. He was digging. He was full of sweat. He was working hard. It was midday, so the sun was quite powerful. So he saw this old skinny man working in the field, and something moved in his heart. He felt some compassion. So he went close to the man and he said, "Dada kem che? Brother, how are you doing?" So the old man looked up from his work, smiled a 1,000-watt smile. He said, "Apne to maja? Tame bolo? I am great. I am fabulous. I am full of joy. What about you?" And Dhruv Dada says something shifted in his heart when he heard this. He said, "I was pitying this man, but the joy that he has, I don't have that joy. How does he have this joy?" Even though, so it's not connected to the outer circumstance necessarily. So then he says, this poem came to me. He doesn't say he wrote it. He said it came to me. And it came to him with the tune, as a song. So this song says, "Ochintu koi mane raste made ne dheere thi puche ki kem che." If suddenly I were to meet someone, and if they were to ask me, "How are you today?" तो आपने तो कहिए कि दरिया सी मौजमा ने ऊपर थी कुदरतनी रेंज. So I would respond, like the waves in the ocean, I'm at play. And on top of that, there is the bounty of nature, the unlimited bounty of nature. Nature never stops giving. Then he says very beautiful metaphors. It says, "Phatela khissani aadma mukiche me chalkati malkati moj." In my torn pocket, in my torn shirt pocket, I am hiding what? Some dancing, joyful waves. There are waves in my pocket. એકલો ઊભો ને તોય મેળામાં હું એવું લાગ્યા કરે છે. Even when I'm alone, I feel like I'm in a festival, in a carnival. That's how I feel every day. Because I'm with nature. તાળું વસાય નહીં એવડી પટારીમાં આપણો ખજાનો હેમ થયો છે. In such a small bundle, you cannot even put a lock on it. In such a small bundle, my treasure is safe as day. No one can steal this treasure. Then he says, "આંખોમાં પાણી તો આવે ને જાય, નથી ભીતર ભીનાશ થતી ઓછી." Water in the eyes comes and it goes, but the source of the moisture, which is within, never dries. વધઘટનો કાંઠાઓ રાખી હિસાબ, નથી પરવા સમંદરને હોતી. The accounts of less and more are kept by whom? By the shore, by the seashore. The sea has not bothered about less or more, high tide or low tide. It's only at the shore that you keep these accounts. सूरज तो उगे અને આથમીએ જાય મારી ઉપર આકાશ એમ નહીં છે. The sun rises and the sun sets, but the sky above me is always the sea, is always there. And then there is the bounty of nature. So these poets often use the metaphor to go into the ocean within. They use the metaphor of the pearl diver. And the pearl diver in Hindi is called a marjiva. A marjiva means someone who dies in order to be born. Marjiva, who was born after he dies. Mar ke jo zinda. So this person, because he goes into the depths of the ocean and he closes his breath or stops his breath, becomes dead, and when he comes back with the pearl, he's a new person, he's born again. So this is the metaphor of diving within this ocean. ए जी डुबकी मारी समुद्र में, ए जी मैं मर जीवा समुद्र का, और डुबकी मारी एक, ज्ञान मुट्ठी लाया और तामे वस्तु अनी. So he went into this ocean, and he came back with this treasure in his hands, and there is unlimited wealth in this treasure. चिंतु कोई मने सस्ते मड़े न कदी, धीरे की पूछे के केम छे, तो आपने तो कहिए के दरिया सी मौजमा, पर की कुदरत में केम छे. ओ चिंतु कोई मने सस्ते मड़े न कदी, धीरे की पूछे के केम छे, तो आपने तो कहिए के दरिया सी मौजमा, पर की कुदरत में केम छे. आटेना किस्सानी आड़मा मुखी में, छलकाती मलकाती बोल. आटेना किस्सानी आड़मा मुखी में, छलकाती मलकाती बोझ. एक लोय घूम तो मेरा होंगे, क्या करे चमने रोज. तारू बसाए नहीं एवड़ी पटारी माँ, आपनो खजानो है मुझे, तो आपने तो कहिए के दरिया सी मौजमा, पर की कुदरत में मुझे. ओ चिंतु कोई मने जिसते मड़न कदी, धीरे की पूछे के मुझे, तो आपने तो कहिए के दरिया सी मौजमा, पर की कुदरत में मुझे. आँखों में पानी तो आवेले जाए, नदी भीतर बिना शुद्धति ओछी. आँखों में पानी तो आवेले जाए, नदी भीतर बिना शुद्धति ओछी. वदघटनो कांठा राखे हिसाब नहीं, परवा समंदर में होती. आ सूरज तो उगे अने हाथ में जाए, मारी ऊपर आकाश एम छे, तो आपने तो कहिए कि दरिया सी मौजमा, पर की कुदरत में केम छे. ओ चिंतु कोई मने जस्ते मड़े न, धीरे की पूछे के केम छे, तो आपने तो कहिए कि दरिया सी मौजमा, पर की कुदरत में केम छे, तो आपने तो कहिए कि दरिया सी मौजमा, पर की कुदरत में केम छे, तो आपने तो कहिए कि दरिया सी मौजमा, पर की कुदरत में केम छे. The next song is by a woman poet called Meera, who was from Rajasthan, 16th century, and she was a princess or a queen. She was married to a king, and her husband died. She was married at a very young age. She didn't want to marry, but she was married off. And her husband died in a war or through illness, I don't remember, at a very young age. And then she was a widow. And then it's very, somehow for our society, a single woman is very threatening. So they wanted to marry her off to her brother-in-law. But Meera said she was married to Krishna. And by Krishna she meant this divinity that is all around us. So she says, I'm married to Krishna, I'm not interested in your marriage. By then she was a little older, so she could assert herself better. And she left the palace. And she became a yogini. And she just wandered around and she was singing songs, moving from place to place, meeting different seekers. And she became very famous, like Kabir. She was very well known, and her songs are also sung even today with great love and joy. So in this song, she's describing her joy in nature. And when does she feel this joy in nature, or why? Because she's met her Krishna, she's met her divinity within herself. So she says, Maragiya buharu, phulda bichhau, Krishan jira darshan paya haryaj. I sweep the path clear, I strew it with flowers, because I found my Krishna, my Hari, today. So she's preparing to receive Krishna here. She's preparing the path. She's preparing herself. Then she says, and what happens when Krishna arrives? Papayo hoi abhama baithi, abhari ghor suhai haryaj. I became a papiha, this bird, and I sat on the cloud, and the thundering of the cloud pleased my heart. I took joy in the thundering of the cloud. Koyaliyo hoi bagama baithi, bagari khushbu suhai haryaj. I became a koyal, and I sat in the garden, and the fragrances of the garden, they pleased my heart. I found joy in them. Bhamaro hoi, phulda ma baithi, phulda ri sugandh suhai haryaj. I became a bee, and I sat on the flower, and the fragrance of the flower pleased my heart. I took joy in that. Bolya by Meera Girdhar Nagum, Charano mein sees nivayo haryaj. Meera sings the praises of Krishna, and she bows, she surrenders herself, her head, her ego at his feet. When do you feel the sacredness of nature, the beauty of nature, the joy of nature? These poets say when you connect with that same nature within, that's when you feel. E ji sabvan to tulsi bhaye aur parvat shali gram sab nadiyan ganga bhayi kab jab jana atam ram. He says all forests became sacred, all mountains became holy, all rivers became like the Ganga. When I found this Ram, this truth within me, when I connected with this truth within me. तो बदरा उठा प्रेम का और हम पर बरसा हो, सीली हो गई आत्मा हरी भरी बन रहा. And he says a cloud of love, the monsoon clouds, you've all seen them in Goa when they come. Says those clouds of love appeared and they came charging, and they showered on me and they drenched me, and now my soul is fulfilled and the forest is full of greenery.
Krishna
song is by Kabir, and he takes this feeling of fulfillment or joy or bliss within the self to another level. And he's saying, taking joy not just in the nature on earth, but in the entire universe. And he feels the entire universe in himself. The two things are not separate. Not only is he not separate from nature, but he's not separate from the universe itself. And he says in this song, Ya ghat bhitar baag bagiche, ya hi mein sirjanhara. In this body, there are gardens and gardens. And the creator of these gardens is also in this body. Ya ghat bhitar saat samundar, ya hi mein nau lakh tara. All the 7 oceans are in this body. All the 9 billion stars are in this body. Ya ghat bhitar hira aur moti, ya hi mein parkhanhara. In this body, countless treasures and jewels. And the person, the jeweler who can recognize them, is also in this body. Ya ghat bhitar anahad garje, ya hi mein uthat huara. In this body, the sound of the universe and fountains of joy erupt. Where? In this body. Kahe Kabir suno bhai sadhu, ya hi mein guru hamara. Kabir says, listen seekers, my guru, my truth, my divinity is also here in this body. So often we tend to think that spirituality or Indian spirituality negates the body, but this tradition keeps the body at the center. This body is the most important thing. Not because you have to satisfy its needs, but because it is the gateway to experience the entire universe, all this nature, all this beauty, all the vastness of creation in oneself, in this body. Eji kasturi kundal base aur mrig dhoonde banmaan, ऐसे घट घट में राम है दुनिया देखत नाही. Like the musk deer carries the musk in its own pocket, but it wanders through the forest looking for this fragrance. It doesn't know where it's coming from. So we wander, but that fragrance that we are looking from is inside us. That Ram, that truth is inside. But we don't see it, we don't feel it, we don't experience it. Eji कमल पे बैठ के तू देखे रूप अपान. Kabir says, don't only go to outer gardens. There are gardens in your own body. Go there. Sitting on these 8 lotuses of form, you can see the entire play of creation, including mosquitoes. आया घट भीतर बाग बगीचे, आया घट भीतर बाग बगीचे, याही में सिरजनहारा, याही में सिरजनहारा. ढूंढे ढूंढे अंधियारा, ढूंढे ढूंढे अंधियारा, ओ ढूंढे ढूंढे अंधियारा, ढूंढे ढूंढे अंधियारा. Yes, please clap along if you dancing light. You can also dance or sing along. Dhoonde re dhoonde andhiyara. The light is in your own body, but you keep looking in the darkness. Aaya ghat bhitar saat samandar, ya ghat bhitar saat samandar, yahi mein naulak tara, yahi mein naulak tara, dhoonde re dhoonde andhiyara, oh dhoonde re dhoonde andhiyara, हाँ ढूंढे ढूंढे अंधियारा, ओ ढूंढे ढूंढे अंधियारा। आया घट भीतर हीरा और मोती, आया घट भीतर हीरा और मोती, याही में परखंड हारा, याही में परखंड हारा, ढूंढे ढूंढे अंधियारा, ओ ढूंढे ढूंढे अंधियारा, हाँ ढूंढे ढूंढे अंधियारा, ओ ढूंढे ढूंढे अंधियारा। घट भीतर अनहद गरजे, घट भीतर अनहद गरजे, याही में उठत फुआरा, याही में उठत फुआरा, ढूंढे रे ढूंढे अंधियारा, ओ ढूंढे रे ढूंढे अंधियारा, ओ ढूंढे रे ढूंढे अंधियारा, ढूंढे रे ढूंढे अंधियारा। हाँ कहे कबीरा सुन भाई साधो, कहे कबीरा सुन भाई साधो, याही में गुरु है हमारा, याही में गुरु है हमारा, ढूंढे रे ढूंढे अंधियारा, ओ ढूंढे रे ढूंढे अंधियारा, ओ ढूंढे रे ढूंढे अंधियारा, ढूंढे रे ढूंढे अंधियारा। So of course there are many more songs of nature, unlimited songs, unlimited joy, but it's 8, maybe I should end because everyone must be hungry. Meat, that is also a call of nature. But I really enjoyed myself, and thank you once again to Sanjeev. Where are you?
One more.
Okay.
Few more.
You suddenly can't stop.
Okay.
You have to prep us.
How do I stop
You
that?
have to prep us first and then you stop.
Ah, okay.
After all that, even I have there.
Okay, so I will just retune very quickly in a minute for the next. This next song is also by Kabir, and it describes how everything in nature, in creation, is connected to each other. The interconnectedness of life. Everything depends on each other. Nothing exists by itself on its own. And this is also the nature of love, he says. So he says, ऐसी म्हारी प्रीत निभाव जो हो निर्धन का राम हो दुर्बल का राम भव सागर में भूलो मत. Be true to my love. Like the poor person has nothing but their faith. Like the weak person has nothing but their Ram, their truths. Don't leave me alone in this world ocean, this ocean of the world. Then in a series of beautiful metaphors, he describes this interrelatedness of life. How we are all connected, how we are all one. He says, Tam to jharkat hum bel ranga tam se nibra. You are the tree and I am the creeper. I will stay entwined around you. Tam to dhaldo ne hum sukhi ja. Mara kai hoga. If you fade, I will dry up too. What will become of me without you? Then he says, Tam to samdar hum machli. You are the ocean and I am the fish. Ranga tamara hoga. I'll stay immersed in you. Tam to sukho ne hum mari ja. If you dry up, I'll die too. Mara kai ho hawa. What will become of me without you? Then he describes another image. Tam to badal hum moria. You are the cloud and I am the peacock. Ranga tam se harkai. Ranga tam se judai. I am connected to you. My happiness depends on you. Tam to barso ne hum boliya. Tam to garjo ne hum boliya. When you thunder, when you shower, that's when I sing. That's when I dance. Kahe Kabir Dharamdas se, Piyu thara ghat maya, Piyu hirday jhadgaye. Kabir says to his disciple Dharamdas, the beloved is in your own body. The beloved is your own heartbeat. जी जल में बसे कमोदनी और चंदा बसे आकाश जो जाके हृदय बसे वो वाही के पास. Says the lotus lives in the water and the moon lives in the sky. They are far away from each other, but they are connected. So he says, whoever lives in each other's heart, they are never far apart. They are always close to it.
निर्धन
हम मेलड़ी रांगा तम से लिपटाए तम तो झरकत हम मेलड़ी रांगा तम से लिपटाए तम तो ढल ढल हम सुखी जावा मारा कई हो भगवान ऐसी मारी प्रीत में भाव जो ऐसी मारी प्रीत में भाव जो हो निर्धन का होगा ऐसी मारी प्रीत में भाव जो तो समधर हम नाच ले रांगा तमारा भगवान तम तो समधर हम नाच रांगा तमारा भगवान तम तो सुखन हम मरी जावा मारा कहीं हो भगवान ऐसी मारी प्रीत में भाव जो ऐसी मारी प्रीत में भाव जो हो निर्धन का होगा ऐसी मारी प्रीत में भाव जो तब तो बाधल हम मोरिया रांगा तम से हरता तम तो बादल हम मोरिया रांगा तम से जुदा तम तो घर झुले हम बोलिया रांगा तम से हटा तम को भर सुने हम बोलिया मारा कई हो भगवान ऐसी मारी प्रीत में भाव जो ऐसी मारी प्रीत में भाव जो हो दुर्बल का होगा ऐसी मारी प्रीत में भाव जो करे हो कभी धर्मदास से उतारा वर्तमान करे हो कभी धर्मदास से हृदय धड़कन ऐसी मारी प्रीत में भाव जो ऐसी मारी प्रीत में भाव जो होने for one more, I would recommend we do it without the light.
Done. I wanted to do that all.
But let me explain the song first and then you can put it off. Very quickly. So this is the last song, I will end with this song. And it's a song by Kabir. And in this song, he says, tell me the secret of this. Tell me. He's asking us. He's always talking to us. He's always asking questions or challenging. So he's saying, tell me the secret of this. Wherever I look, I see you. हाथी में हाथी बन बैठो, चीटी में है छोटू, होए महावत ऊपर बैठे, हांकण वाला तू। In the elephant, you are big, and in the end, you become small. And the person who is riding on top of the elephant, that is also you. Tu ka tu, you, only you. Wherever I look, I see you. And then he talks not just about nature, but also about people. He can't see any difference in people. Religion, caste, skin color, gender, he can't see it. He says, even social markers by which we judge each other. He says, चोरों के संग चोरी कर, बदमाशों में भिड़ो, चोरी करके तू भग जावे, पकड़ने वाला तू का। You are a thief among thieves. Among robbers, you are a robber. You are the one who steals and runs away, and you are the policeman who catches the thief. It's all you. दाता के संग दाता बन जाए, भिखारी में भेड़ो तू, मंगतो होकर मांगन लागे, देने वाला तू का तू. With the giver, you're a giver. With the beggar, you're a beggar. You're the one who gives, and you're the one who receives. There is no difference. नर नारी में एक विराजे, दो दुनिया में दिसे क्यों? In man and in woman you are the same. Why do we keep seeing difference? बालक होकर रोवन लागे, राखण वाला तू का तू. You are the child who cries for attention, and you are the one who gives attention, who takes care of the child. In the end he says, जल थल जीव में तू ही विराजे. On land, in water, in every living creature, only you reside. कहे कबीर सुनो भाई साधो, guru मिला है जो का थी. Kabir says, listen seekers, I found my guru. I found reality as it is. Jo ka tyun. Not as it appears to be, but as it is. Okay, we can put it off. And in this darkness, no one is watching you, not even me. So feel free to sway, dance, sing, whatever you want. साहिब तुम्हारी साहिबी और सब घट रही समा जो मेहंदी के पात में और लाली लखी न जा तो लाली मेरे लाल की ए जी लाली मेरे लाल की और जित देखूं कितना लाली देखन में गई तो मैं भी हो गई लाल. Kabir says, "O master, your mastery informs everything, it hides in everything, it resides in everything. Like the henna leaf contains redness, but outwardly it's green, but inside it has the red color. And I set out in search of this redness. Now wherever I look, I see red, this truth. this beauty, this love. I set out in search of redness, but I became red myself. I became transformed myself. He did not write a thesis about it. बता मेरे अबू अच्छी करनी कर ले तू नाली फूल जगत के माही जान देखो तू का तू आए इनका भेद बता मेरे अबू साबित करनी कर ले तू नाली फूल जगत के माही जान देखो तू का तू Sing tu ka tu with me. Tu ka tu means you, only you. Tu ka tu. अरे इनका भेद बता मेरे अबू अच्छी करनी कर ले तू डाली फूल जगत के माही जहाँ देखो वहाँ Let's get a single voice. अरे डाली फूल जगत के माही जहाँ देखो वहाँ तू का तू अरे हाथी में हाथी बन बैठो चींटी में छोटो तू होए महा ऊपर बैठे आंकड़ वाला तुका तू अरे हाथी में हाथी बन बैठो चींटी में छोटो तू होए महा ऊपर बैठे आंकड़ वाला तुका तू अरे इनका भेद बता मेरे अबू साबित करनी कर ले तू नानी फूल जगत के माही जान देखो तू का तू अरे चोरों के संग चोरी करता बदमाशों में भेड़ो तू चोरी करके तू भग जाए पकड़ने वाला तू का तू अरे चोरों के संग चोरी करता डाकुओं में भेड़ो तू चोरी करके तू भग जाए पकड़ने वाला तू का तू अरे इनका भेद बता मेरे अबू साबित करनी कर ले तू डाली फूल जगत के माही जहाँ देखूँ तू का तू अरे दाता के संग दाता बन जा भिखारी में भेड़ो तू मुझको आंगन आगे पीने वाला भूखा तू अरे दाता के संग दाता बन जा भिखारी में भेड़ो तू मुझको आंगन आगे पीने वाला भूखा तू अरे इनका भेद बता मेरे अबू अच्छी करनी कर ले तू डाली फूल जगत के माही जहाँ देखूँ तू का तू अरे नर नारी में एक विराजे जो दुनिया में जिसे क्यों बालक होकर रोवन लाग राखण वाला तू का तू अरे नर नारी में एक विराजे दुनिया में जिसे क्यों बालक होकर रोवन लाग राखण वाला तू का तू अरे उनका भेद बता मेरे अबू अच्छी करनी कर ले तू नाली फूल जगत के माही जहाँ देखूँ तू का तू अरे जल थल जी में विराजे जा देखूँ तू का तू करे कबीर सुनो बंसा दो गुरु मिला है तू का तू अरे जल थल जी में विराजे जा देखूँ तू का तू करे कबीर सुनो बंसा दो गुरु मिला है तू का तू अरे करे कबीर सुनो बंसा दो गुरु मिला है तू का तू अरे इनका भेद बता मेरे अबू अच्छी करनी कर ले तू डाली फूल जगत के माही जहाँ देखूँ तू का तू अरे डाली फूल जगत के माही जहाँ देखूँ तू का तू अरे डाली फूल जगत के माही जहाँ देखूँ तू का तू so much. It's always a joy to sing in the outdoors, in the open air. I always like it much more. And these songs are meant for the open spaces. You know, they're not meant for auditoriums, but we sing them wherever we can now. Thank you so much. If you want to find some of these songs online, there is a website where you can find them for free and you can download them or listen to them with translations. And this website is called ishqfakiri.com. And there is also a web archive that we have built at Ajab Sheher. I will repeat this, which is on YouTube also, has a YouTube channel. And there is also the web archive, where you can hear the songs in the folk singers' voices. Again, the videos have translations, just put the subtitles on. So my site is called ishqfakiri.com, ishqfakiri.com. And the Kabir project web archive is called ajabsheher.com, ajabsheher.com. Thank you. Thanks, Sandeep. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for